Hey, what's going on? Good afternoon, everyone. So, the Menendez brothers are in court testifying on, I believe, on their own behalf as far as being released and, the thing that's been going on the last few months um, with the last district attorney, Gascon, which is no longer there, and and the possibility of their release. And like I said, they had to testify on their own behalf. They didn't have to, but they were given the opportunity to. So I believe that's happening right now. Hey, Kathy, I believe that's happening right now. I don't know what's happening with the. Oh, here come the attorneys. I don't know what's happening with the start button. I keep hearing about that, and I don't know why it's not there. Let's see. I'm gonna be able to hear this.
Tommy, unser Mikro ist hier.
Ma'am, you're gonna have to sit.
For those who weren't in the courtroom today, I think you could talk to anybody who was. It was it was first of all the first time that Lyle and Eric have been at least remotely in a courtroom in a number of years, number one. It also was quite a moving experience, at least from where we sit, to listen to Aunt Terry and Aunt Joan, who are respectively Jose and Kitty's older sisters. Both made impassioned pleas with the judge to send the brothers home, and like I said, very moving. Terry testified under oath that she was very close to Jose and practically grew up with him, and Joan as well talked about Kitty and all of the the good things that they've done since they've been in there. The judge has now set January 30th and 31st as the days for a plenary or fulsome hearing on the resentencing. He has also invoked what's called AB 600, so he has jurisdiction under that section as well, which is California law. He's going to and has heard and will ask for further briefing, and by January 30th or 31st, we're hoping that by the end of that, or sometime sooner, that we will in fact get the brothers' release. The family is all here, and including Joan, who's here, who everybody can wish happy birthday to tomorrow. And Terry, who is here.
Yes, where's Terry?
Where's Terry? Terry's in the back. Terry made the trip.
Bring Terry up here.
Bring
please.
Terry up as well. I will tell you that I did not program either one of them, and I don't think either one of them knew they were going to speak, but they spoke, and we did that so they could speak from the heart. And
We're sisters in kind.
yes, and you can tell them you want them home.
I do want them home. They should never have been in such situations as presented themselves. What can a kid do when his father's... Oh, I can't stand it.
35 years, she said.
It's time.
They're way away from the microphone. It's hard to hear them.
I'm going to let the family go. I'll answer some questions as long as people don't assault the family on the way out of here, okay? Is that a deal, by the way?
Hey,
Yes?
Lynn,
Okay,
we'll
so
get to that in a minute.
Let the
We'll
family
recap.
move out and have give them,
Media, please move back.
yeah,
The
please
family
move
can
back.
Please move back.
Let them
If you're
create a
behind me
walkway,
and touch me,
please.
you're not family. You need to move back, please.
Hey, now there. Lucy, Dee Dee, what's up? Yeah, I know. I don't know what's up with that stars button.
Then I guess no questions if they're going to run after.
Why are they doing this?
Yeah, no questions.
Oh, wait, Mark, can we ask you about...
Unless you stop that, then we're not doing it.
They're not
Mark,
real
can we ask
journalists,
about the
Mark.
petition that was filed this morning? Get rid of the special circumstances.
They're not real journalists. I don't know. They're being pulled away to a different. A little chaotic and not in control there.
Yeah, for what?
Jeff, that was said back live, correct?
No, that was Mark Arago's attorney, one of their attorneys. Oh my goodness! Was that it? Is that all for the press conference? I thought others were going to speak. I don't think the Menendez brothers are going to come out of that front entrance because they are still convicts. So they're probably, taking out the back way or some secure method.
Was there a petition filed to remove the special circumstances? My vibe. Yeah. I don't know. See it. I only know
Yeah, so,
I think somebody else may speak because they are leaving a lot of that stuff there. Microphones are still on those stands. So back in, if I'm not mistaken, it was '89. Lyle and Eric.
Hey, Brian, can you do it at the mic?
A few days before, Lyle and Eric went to go buy some shotguns, and then who's yelling? Who's talking? Okay, in August of '89, they murdered their parents, blew them away with shotguns. And then why they did it is kind of sketchy. But ultimately, they came up with the fact that they were being sexually abused by their father, Jose. And according to the Netflix documentary, if you've seen it, hang on. Even the mother participated in some of that, and the mother apparently knew what was going on, and they just couldn't take it anymore. And one night they decided to take matters into their own hands and pull the trigger and literally just got rid of their parents. So they claimed that it was some kind of reaction or self-defense because they were being abused, one more than the other. I think which is one brother, if I'm not mistaken. And then two trials. The first trial, it was a hung jury, so nothing happened there. And then it was a second trial. And during the second trials where they were found guilty and they were sent to prison, life without parole. So fast forward to, I'll say, even the last couple of years, this younger generation that is in college right now and possibly, earning their degrees in law or whatever. This is the age of social media and podcasts and influencers, if you want to call them. More young people started hearing about this case, and then they started learning more about it, and then all of a sudden there was a huge interest, and then there was a movement which was already there, but it wasn't very loud to release these guys. And some celebrities were in on it. One big one was top celebrity, I should say, was Rosie O'Donnell. Yeah, I had to correct, and you know why. And she's been behind this for years, trying to get them released. Saying do well because they were abused, so that's why they freaked out and they did this. They had to stop it. Uh, but some people don't buy it; they don't believe it because in the days after or the weeks after the murder and the investigation and stuff, they almost emptied their bank account, going on a shopping spree and buying cars, clothes, jewelry. So a lot of people are wondering, well, that's kind of sketchy. Apparently, the boys were not going to be in their father's will. For whatever the reason, the father, I think he believed in, they need to take care of themselves and learn how to take care of themselves and sustain themselves, that kind of thing. Um, and then, very more recently, some more evidence started coming to light that, what, there were other signs of abuse and witnesses and other victims. One of them being family member, another one being there was a boy band back in the 80s called Menudo, and one of those members also said he was actually, we'll call it, molested or raped by Jose Menendez, the father. But these items were never submitted into evidence during the first couple trials. And so the question was brought up, was like, well, why weren't these things allowed in? This would tell a lot. So finally, these things started coming to light recently, and some say that they were always there. They were just never brought out public. Well, these things were made public. Some of the former member of Menudo did a bunch of interviews, and he did explain what happened. So now it's like, well, damn, if they were abused, and is it right that they're going to spend the rest of their lives in prison? They've already been in prison for 35 years. So then more documentaries came out. Then the Netflix thing came out, and the other thing came out. So there's been a lot of light shed on this case and the situation. So fast forward to, I believe it was last month, maybe a couple of months ago, and DA Gascon, who was the DA in Los Angeles, for the Los Angeles area, said that he looked into it and he was going to recommend that the sentencing be changed from life without parole to life with parole, which means after serving X percentage of their sentence, they would be eligible for release. However, since they were so young, they were under the age of 25 when they were sentenced to life. That means that they would be eligible much sooner, which would almost cause a immediate release if the sentencing was changed. And I truly believe that DA Gascon pushed for all this, maybe not because he cares from his heart, but because he was getting reelected, he was running for reelection, which he didn't win. So does he feel the same way? I don't know. Maybe he does. So this hearing was set. There's a bunch of hearings that we heard. The next one is going to be January 30th, 31st. But they were supposed to hear some more testimony, and today they were going to let the brothers speak for themselves, and maybe how they've been. They've been model inmates, no trouble at all. They've been doing very well these last 35 years. And some people say, hey, this is divided. Some people say, hey, you know what? They murdered their parents. They should stay in jail. And then the other side, well, they did, but they were getting abused, or one of them was getting abused. It's like, you got to get him out. They got to let him out. They were being abused. He freaked out. There was a crime of passion, or temporary insanity, whatever you want to call it. And they should be released. So I don't know. It depends on where you stand, how you feel about it. They did take out 2 lives pretty violently. I've seen the crime scene photos, and it was a horrible. Seems like there was a lot of anger there. But was it because of the abuse, or was it something else? That's the one thing we'll never know. However, this became one of those, Hollywood cases now. It's got a lot of attention, and a lot of celebrities are speaking out on this stuff. So, my thing is, and I said this in that last press conference that we went live on. It's like, if you're going to allow all this evidence for these guys, then, how many other people are in prison right now that are in the same situation? Evidence for them in their own cases never got brought out for whatever the reason, but it's there. So if you release these guys and allow this new evidence to dictate what their sentence should have been, now you got to go back. I'm sure there's thousands of people in prison that now you got to go back one by one, and you have to do the same. Do for one, do for all. At least that's how I feel. Is that going to happen? Probably not. This costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of money to be able to hire attorneys to do all this stuff. So what's fair is fair, and this is not going to be fair. Like I said, there's a lot of people. Robin, exactly the same. Scott Peterson, that guy is shouting still about his innocence, and so regardless of how you feel about it, not everyone is in agreement. And I would say they're divided pretty evenly. I was hoping to hear more about what the brothers themselves said, if they said anything. I don't think they would have brought him here out of prison, bring him to court, if they were not going to say anything. Yeah, I think this was right around the OJ time. This might have been right after. So this was 89. This was August of 89. Uh, yeah, 95. OJ was tried in 95. So I found out about OJ. One thing I found, remember that white Bronco? The white Bronco that Al Cowling was in, and he had kind of OJ hidden at the slow speed chase. And then if you've watched any kind of TV in the last few years, that white Bronco has been for sale and auctioned off here and there. But there were two white Broncos. One of them was Al Cowling's, and the other one was OJ's. So the one that they were in was Al Cowling's, did not have blood or none of those stains or none of that stuff in it. So a lot of people think, hey, I'm buying or people think that's the Bronco that OJ had all bloodied up and stuff. But yeah, no, that's not the one. So let me see if anybody else is talking about this because is anybody talking about this live? Doesn't look like it. They're still waiting out there for someone to come out and speak. I don't know if they are or not. A lot of the coverage has already broken up and been shut off. So if anything else comes up, we'll talk about it maybe later tonight. But for now, yeah, apparently the Menendez brothers were in court to state their case. And we'll see what happens or what is said beyond that. Disappointing, nobody else came out except for Mark Garagos. Oh, is that a Pigeon Forge? Yeah, there's nothing there. That's kind of weird way to, I don't know. Maybe the media made too big of a deal about this. That's possible. It's not like that's not impossible. So, but it is about that time. I'm going to have me some Thanksgiving dinner right now because I got to work the rest of the week. So this will be my Thanksgiving today. So happy Thanksgiving. And anything else comes up, I'll be online later. We'll be live later on. There are lots other things to discuss. I've gotten a lot of feedback on confidence is beautiful. A lot of feedback on that last program that had that little girl up there. I call her a little girl, even though she's 15 or 16 right now. But some things have come to light, and I do want to discuss that with you guys a little bit later. What time? 7:30-ish, something like that. It'll be early. It's not going to be a late night one tonight. It'll be earlier. So look out for that. And that's all I got right now. Yeah, I know. It was all messed up. They totally disrupted that press conference, and nobody was in control of it. It was kind of a free-for-all out there. I think all those mics were put out there by the press to kind of direct come and talk to us here at the mics, but I don't think there was anything set up. So yeah, a lot of interesting facts about this. So anyway, we'll talk later.